Right. So let's just talk about a scenario. What happens when a nation declares war on six of its neighbors all at the same time? It's not a warning shot. It's not a proxy war. It's the day Iran decides to attack everyone. If you really believe that this kind of escalation is impossible, that things will just go back to normal, I don't know what to tell you, okay? You're living in a fantasy world. You have to wake up and recognize we're moving towards a new world. And you either choose to adapt or you will get run over. It's that simple, right? So the first wave comes without any warning. You have to understand this is not a single strike. This is a coordinated assault orchestrated across the entire Persian Gulf. From their underground missile cities and mobile launchers, Iran unleashes its full arsenal. We're talking ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and drone swarms. And the targets aren't just military, they are strategic, economic, and political. Now, in Saudi Arabia, they have a multi-billion-dollar air defense network, American Patriot and THAAD systems. But the problem is volume, okay? You can have the best interceptors in the world, but when your enemy fires a massive coordinated salvo, the sheer number is just too much to handle. So while many are shot down, some get through, explosions hit Riyadh, one missile striking near the diplomatic quarter, and out east, the giant Ras Tanura oil facility gets hit, forcing a total shutdown. At the same time, sirens are going off across the UAE. They also have one of the best air defense systems, THAAD, Patriot, even Israeli tech. But again, the onslaught is relentless. They target commercial hubs in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. They hit critical infrastructure. Bahrain, which hosts the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet, gets struck. Qatar, home to Al Udeid, America's biggest base in the region, gets struck. This is a clear message to Washington. Kuwait's oil fields are hit, and even Oman, a country that often acted as a mediator, isn't spared. The message here is brutally clear. No one is safe. And that China-brokered peace deal from 2023 between Iran and Saudi Arabia, it's instantly meaningless, shattered by the first explosion. Basically, by attacking everyone, including the mediators, Iran has just burned every single bridge. The established diplomatic framework of the Middle East has just collapsed. Okay, so what happens next? The global reaction is shock. The first thing to convulse is the energy markets. Look, the Strait of Hormuz is the artery for about 20% of the world's daily oil. When that becomes a live fire war zone, what do you think happens to the price? It doesn't just rise, it explodes. Brent crude goes past $100 a barrel in minutes because traders are panicking about the biggest energy supply disruption in modern history. In Washington, the president is in the situation room. You have to wake up and recognize that the 40,000 to 50,000 American troops across the region are now on the front lines of a hot war. The U.S. Fifth Fleet in Bahrain is on highest alert. At the UN, they call emergency sessions, but these are just formalities. The air's thick with condemnation. The entire geopolitical chessboard has been flipped over, and the Saudis, especially someone like Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, they're not going to see this as a crisis to be managed, okay? They will see this as a historic opportunity to neutralize the Iranian regime once and for all. So the question is no longer if there will be a response, but how devastating it will be. All right, so what does the counterattack look like? It's going to come from the air. F-35s from the UAE and Saudi F-15s scramble, joined very quickly by American air power. You have B-2 stealth bombers flying in from thousands of miles away, F-22s from Al Dhafra in the UAE, and F-A-18s launching from aircraft carriers. Their targets are the source of the attack: Iran's command centers, IRGC naval bases, and the missile sites. But hitting Iran isn't simple. You have to understand, they have spent decades preparing for this. They've hidden their key assets in fortified mountain bunkers and underground tunnels. It's a hardened target. The US and its allies will begin a systematic campaign to degrade Iran's ability to fight using Tomahawk missiles and cyber attacks. But every counterstrike carries the risk of making things even worse. The first 24 hours aren't an end. It's the beginning of a terrifying feedback loop. Before we get into how this regional war spirals into a global crisis, I will say this. If you value this kind of in-depth analysis that connects the dots, you should subscribe. Your support helps us continue to make these videos. Okay, so just as the world is trying to understand the state-on-state war, Iran plays its next card. This is very important. They activate their proxy network. In Iraq, Iran-backed militias start launching their own attacks on US-linked sites. Iraq becomes a second front, forcing the US to divert resources and stretch its military even thinner. The Iraqi government is powerless to stop it. Then the most dangerous flashpoint ignites. Hezbollah, Iran's most powerful proxy, begins firing rockets from Lebanon into northern Israel, opening a devastating third front. This is classic asymmetric warfare. If you can't win a conventional fight, you change the fight. You make it bigger, messier, and you drag everyone in. It's that simple. The conflict is no longer just Iran versus the Gulf. It has become a contagion, spreading chaos across the entire region. So you have the kinetic war, but you also have the economic war, and this is the part that brings the rest of the world to its knees. Basically, the Strait of Hormuz is now a no-go zone. No insurance company will cover tankers to go through there. So that 21% of global petroleum and 20% of the world's LNG that passes through, it's choked off. The consequences are immediate and catastrophic. For economies like Japan, South Korea, and China that rely on Gulf energy, this is an unprecedented supply shock. In Europe and the Americas, you'll see gasoline prices triple. Global stock markets enter a free fall. This isn't just a regional conflict anymore. It's a trigger for a full-blown global depression. And this is a deliberate strategy. It's designed to pressure the international community and show that Iran's power extends far beyond the range of its missiles. This crisis forces a reckoning in Beijing and Moscow. So what about China? For them, this is a disaster. It's not just the threat to their energy. You have to remember their big foreign policy achievement, the 2023 Iran-Saudi deal. It's in ruins. Their image as a stabilizing force is gone, and they have no good options. If they take a side, they alienate a key energy supplier. If they stay neutral, they watch their economic interests go up in flames. Now, Russia, on the other hand, sees opportunity in the chaos. The sky-high price of oil is a lifeline for its sanctioned economy, right? It can provide diplomatic cover for Iran at the UN, vetoing any resolution that would authorize intervention. Russia won't get directly involved, but it will be content to watch its primary global rival, the United States, get pulled deeper into a Middle Eastern quagmire. Basically, the conflict becomes another proxy battleground in a new Cold War. So let's just summarize what we've learned. A day like this, where Iran attacks everyone, would be the day the modern Middle East ceases to exist. The result is a multi-front war that shatters the global economy and redraws the lines of international power. That old security order where American military might guarantee a fragile stability is gone. You have to wake up and recognize that we are in a new world. Regional rivals who took small steps toward peace are now in a death struggle. The attack, in its shocking indiscriminacy, would prove one thing. In the 21st century, the lines between mediator and enemy, rival and partner, can be erased in an instant, leaving behind nothing but the cold logic of conflict. It's crucial to remember that this entire video is a speculative scenario, a what-if designed to explore the potential consequences of such a dramatic escalation, okay? It is based on current military capabilities and geopolitical tensions, but it is an analysis, not a prediction, all right? If you want to continue exploring the forces shaping our world and support informed discussions on global security, make sure you are subscribed to the channel and have notifications turned on. Thank you for watching.